Okay. I want to call to order the Oxford Area Cable Communication Commission meeting for Monday, May 23rd, 2022. Let's stand and pay our respects to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Ed.
Here.
Catherine.
Here.
Maureen, yes. John.
Here.
Karen.
Yes, here.
Everybody's here. Item 4, approval of the agenda.
If there's no changes, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for the May 23rd OCTV meeting.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public comments on items not on the agenda. Kyle, you're the only public. Are you speaking? Nope. Okay.
Chicken.
Item 6, minutes. Approval of the minutes from the previous meeting of April 25th, 2022.
If there's no changes, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the April 25th, 2022 ACCC meeting.
Support.
We have a motion, it's been supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The bill review run, pages 5 through 8. The total is on page 8 to approve. Any questions, concerns? I'll take a motion.
Still looking for the total.
Yeah.
Total is on page 6, I'm sorry. Page 6 of 25.
And we're good on the mileage, so I'll make a motion to approve the
Is 6.
bill for the bills in the amount of $18,106.64.
No, that's the wrong number.
$18,106.64.
No, above it.
Oh, 1664.
$18,116.64.
Sorry, no.
There you got it.
Support.
We have a motion, it's been supported, we need roll call.
I'm just wondering what the difference is in the two numbers.
So it did come from a DVD, $10.
It offsets income against expense. But you're seeing expense.
The number you were looking at originally is net of,
I just wanted to see it.
yep,
Roll call vote. Karen.
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Ed.
yes.
Catherine.
Yes.
Maureen, yes.
Okay. Motion is passed. The year-to-date bill and expense report, and also the invoice general ledger distribution report, the items B and C. Pages 9 through 12.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And those are just receive and file.
I'll make a motion to receive and file items 7B and 7C.
Support.
We have a motion, it's been supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The Oakland County Investment Pool. If you look at it on page 13 for review, if there's any questions or concerns, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to receive, it's just receive and file.
Right.
Receive and file the Oakland County Investment Pool report as of May 9th, 2022.
Support.
We have a motion, it's been supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unfinished business, discussion of Commissioners OCTV station tour. Since we are all here, I was going to suggest we try to, we might think about trying to do a tour when it's just the meeting itself is the tour. I don't know if maybe we get done with this part quick enough, if we spend enough time, it's sufficient. For those people who have no experience in this industry, I don't know how much questions would be asked, and I just, sometimes I think in my mind that it might take more than a half hour, 45 minutes, but I don't know. We're here, we might as well try it.
Why don't we move it to the end of the agenda, and if the meeting goes
The
well?
tour, yeah, right, yes, that was my suggestion. We take the tour at the end of the meeting. And once we've finished the other businesses we have, we can decide on how we want to do the tour.
Sounds good.
All right, then I'll go to 9B, request to change OACC bylaws. We had discussed this at the previous meeting. Mike McDonald from the Village of Leonard had requested that we include personnel policies in as required as a super quorum requirement, because he felt that it could affect the budget overall. We decided to table it until this meeting, until the full board was here. So I will open this up for discussion as to how we want to go forward. Do we want to set up a committee meeting to review the bylaws as we discussed at the last meeting? I'm open for discussion.
I think amending the bylaws is a debacle. I think there's an easier way to go about this than getting 4 communities, trying to make them all agree on the same thing. Every attorney is going to have an opinion. Well, let's take out C. Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Well, if we amend the bylaws, just so I'm clear, we cannot do that here at this board. We have to have our respective communities approve any bylaw changes.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of agree that it would be tough. We'd have to get, what, 3 communities to agree?
4.
4.
All 4 of them have to agree to the same thing?
Yeah.
It can't be 3 to 1?
Nope.
It has to be unanimous.
No.
Everybody has to agree.
So if we all have to agree, well, I guess I'm willing to see how everybody else feels about it.
I don't have the request in front of me from last time, but it seems to me that the request that Mike was bringing up was covered in the bylaws.
Yeah, he wanted to change verbiage. His was like a, what, 3-word change in verbiage?
Well, I think it had to do with super quorum as it related to personnel changes that would affect the budget, but there is a spot, and I don't know if we have.
I think his whole thing, what he was mentioning too, was basically so he wanted each community to have their input in that. So that's why he wanted to change those bylaws.
And I think anything that involves the budget has to be a super quorum anyway.
Yeah, no, sure.
Correct.
I think that was my read. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember the.
Yes, the super quorum is required for the budget
Right,
changes.
so if the initial request was because he was concerned about a personnel change, I think, is what it stemmed from the request. To me, it was already in there, but, so I don't know if we really need a bylaw change, but.
Well, I would agree with you, based on last week when we kind of looked into it briefly. I thought the same thing, that anything that involves a modification to the budget requires a super quorum to modify the budget. So if we change anything in the personnel policy that reflects a change in the budget, it's going to take a super quorum to approve that.
Correct.
Right. So, I mean, we talked about other things being possibly changed and wording, but I don't know.
If we're going to do a bylaw change, we should do a full I mean, if we're going to go through all that trouble, really just go through it and change it. I wouldn't do it for 3 words.
Right.
Oh, that's pretty much what it boiled down to last week, if I remember correctly. But we decided at that meeting to wait till the full board was here to see if we wanted to form a committee to review the bylaws and to make requests or a recommendation for change.
It doesn't sound like we need one.
I would like to find a different way to make Mr. McDonald happy and understand. You know, we try very hard to follow the bylaws. I don't think we're perfect. Sometimes it's like, oh, we did that. Do we need a full? But it's okay. We didn't hurt anybody. We didn't. But I think we try very hard to follow the bylaws strictly, and I think we just need to find a way to make him understand that we're to do what he wants us to do.
I think we can make him happy just by what we've already discussed. I mean, we can't modify the budget without a super quorum. And so if a personnel policy is going to modify the budget, then the super quorum has to be in place in order to make that change. So I think his concerns are addressed already, but again, we can form a committee to look at the bylaws and request some changes. When were they originally or last modified or reviewed? 20,
January
2006?
2012.
12?
What I have here.
10 years.
That's 10 years ago.
I mean, was there anything else Mike was bringing up, or am I mean, I don't
No,
know.
that was
It was mainly that,
That
no,
was
it's
mainly
just,
that?
because the goal for that is he wanted, like I was saying, he wanted each community to have their input. And
Was there
that he
anything-
wanted a super quorum for that.
And was there anything that we did that he thinks we probably needed a super quorum for?
Yeah, it came up, he brought it up after Ed suggested that we look into getting insurance for the employees.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
that's
medical
what
insurance?
it is.
Okay.
A suggestion, and that would have affected the budget had we decided to do that, and that would have then required a super quorum to make that decision. It didn't play out because it was not cost effective it wasn't
all.
possible to get insurance for 2 full-time employees.
Would this apply, the super quorum, I believe, would apply to establishing a budget, but where budget amendments might be required during the year, I don't know if a super quorum would be required.
It's not. It's not.
Not if you're,
For an amendment.
not if you're not changing the overall bottom line numbers. If you're
Yes.
just moving money around to accommodate line items,
Correct.
I don't think you need a super quorum for that. But if you modify the budget as a whole, if we had a, say, a operating budget of 350,000, we wanted to increase it to 375, then the super quorum would have to be required in order to approve that increase.
Correct.
But moving line items, that's just a
Right.
regular
Maintenance.
Just
form.
wanted to clarify that.
Right. So, do we want to put a committee together, or do we just want to leave it alone? I mean, they're 10 years old. Do they need to be reviewed after 10 years?
I'm not interested in putting a committee together.
I don't think there's a need for it.
Doesn't sound like we need to do anything.
They've been pretty healthy for the last 10 years, or I would assume they were signed in 86 or 87 when the commission was formed.
Well, then can I get some kind of motion to address line or 9B as far as reviewing the bylaws? Maybe something to the fact that we just want to not address this at this time?
I mean, just table it until,
Or however you want to word it?
I don't know how would you table the item?
Table it will continually be on the unfinished
Oh.
business.
I think you have to set it
Unless
aside.
you give a date, table it until 2023, and then we'd put it back on. And that would be actually set
Isn't it
aside.
like kicking the can down the road?
Table's indefinite, and setting
Yeah.
it aside is an end
Oh.
date.
How about, I'll make a motion to deny the request to change the OACC bylaws
Just
at this time.
at this time?
Because we believe that the requests are included in the bylaws already, and there's no reason for the change. But I'm bumped.
I'll support.
That covers it.
I'll
All right.
support
Did
that.
somebody else write that down? Because I didn't.
All right, so we have a motion. It's been supported. Let's take roll call for that.
Hang on, I just gotta write down our motion.
I do, before I forget it.
I've got it.
That pen was
Okay.
like freezing out on me.
I mean, I don't want to make Mike mad, but we think we're covered. So, John?
Yep.
Karen?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Mo? Yes.
All right, 9C, research specs for backup generator.
So, in talking with Jeff Kindness, Dave spoke with him, and Jeff said... the
Wait a minute, Jeff is Parks and Rec?
Jeff Kindness is Parks and Rec,
Okay.
sorry. It's, the possibility of a generator is at least 6 months out right now.
I think it's part of that whole supply chain.
He
Yep.
kind of threw his hands up in the air.
Yeah. So do we want to just
Sure, we can look at it
table
later.
this for 3 or 4 months and see where we're at? All right, so you can bring it back at that time? Station manager performance review?
Wanna talk?
Are we going to closed session?
Do we need to?
That would be up to Terry.
I don't care. I'm fine.
I'm gonna say she had a great performance review. I think the whole station's doing a great job right now. I think something agrees with me. I think we're getting a lot of new ideas to the board right now that we haven't had in my tenure on the board. So I think she's doing a great job.
So what is the position at this point then?
As far as the raise,
Yeah.
I think we looked at 6%,
Yeah.
retroactive January 1st.
So you're proposing that tonight?
Would you like me to make a motion?
Please.
I'll make a motion to increase the station manager's wages by 6%, retroactive to January 1st, 2022.
6%. Effective January 2022. Okay, we have a motion. It's been supported. I need roll call.
So writing the motion. Maureen, yes. Karen?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Thank you.
By the way, Mo and I met with Terry, so just so you guys know, we did have a meeting with Terry
Yeah,
about.
she's at the country club.
It was a great breakfast. I
really
was so
good.
happy.
It was a good breakfast.
Okay, so new business. Apparently the sign vendor that was originally selected has vanished. So, Terry?
I made several attempts to call him as well as email. And I don't know, he's, I guess, the owner of the company, but he has never gotten back with me. And I just would like to move on with this. And I would really like to recommend a local Wildfire, and it's actually a little less expensive than the compared bid.
This is cheaper than the previous one?
He's less, no, he's not less expensive than the one that we didn't, that won't call me back. He's less expensive than the comparative bid.
What was the first bid, if you?
It wasn't in last month's minutes, the minutes of 4.
Yeah, I believe. If you want to wait, I'll go look. Do you remember, Dave, what that bid was? I think it was 43.
We had last month's minute, or
That's probably why he's not calling you back. He probably figures he screwed up and
in there.
quoted right and he doesn't want to deal with it.
I don't, it's an Auburn Hills company. I don't know if he doesn't want to come out this way. And this gentleman from Wildfire took the time to come here, actually made some really good recommendations to me as far as the looks of the sign. I was going to have it be white with dark lettering, and he's like, no, it's easier to see it if you have a dark background with light lettering, and he really cared. I mean, it was nice to get that kind of service.
Is this total that he's quoting is 6484?
Wildfire?
Yeah.
No,
the
the
wrong one.
6484 is the comparison bid. Wildfire is
4770.
4770.
Oh, I'm looking at two different bids here. Well, how come I don't see the total for Wildfire?
Well, it's
Do you have this one?
4770
Page
plus
14.
901.
Page 14.
It's right there.
The first page. That,
Oh,
But it's for two signs, Terry, that there's a sign at 4770 and then a sign at 901, so 5671.
correct. The 901 is not a lighted sign. I asked him to give me bids for a lighted and a non-lighted sign.
Oh, so we only doing one or the other?
We decided to get the lighted sign.
Okay,
the
so
lit
this-
sign. So it would be the 47.
and what was the original bid that you,
I'll go get it.
oh, I thought he brought it back.
He didn't. Sorry, Kyle, walked in front of the camera.
Been a lot of exchange of paperwork back and forth.
When you, Kathleen, do you know when the township takes bids, do they give In the village, what we would do, we would take the bids, and if it was a village business, we subtract 10% of their bid as far as putting them in order of being,
We don't have any formal review like that. We do want to use somebody local if we can, of
Correct.
course, but,
because we do Oxford, and then we do Oakland County, and then we do State of Michigan, and they each get different discounts.
it's interesting. There's no formal process in the
Okay.
township.
So we would consider this bid to be around 4,300.
So how did, now that you brought that up, I'm just curious, in, say, the village, if they're quoting, if they need something done, and they have a local contractor in the village that can do the job, how much, well, I should say, the fact that he is a village taxpayer resident, how much does that play into approving his bid? Let's say he's 10% higher than everybody else, does that matter?
Usually, like I said, if you're in Oxford, and you're an Oxford business, we would subtract 10% from your bid to consider your bid. Even though we're still gonna pay the extra 10%, we're considering the lower number.
So someone would have to come in 15% lower to look like they had it
Right.
better. Yeah.
And you always wanna consider local.
Sure.
Sometimes local
Better local
is way
service.
off.
Cheaper's not always quality.
Right, they have to be able to meet the,
Well, and
depending on what it is.
That's a very true
Like
statement.
garbage companies, we had the recent problem.
Yeah.
We wanted to go local.
Right.
They
Oh,
couldn't
yeah,
meet our
no, that's-
insurance requirements. And that's something you really have to consider.
They also know the ordinance requirements.
Right.
So what'd you come up with?
2,300.
2,300? That's
Yeah.
double. No wonder why he's not calling you back.
Yeah, that could be one.
Misquoted it.
He misquoted it.
Yeah, that could be one. Because the other one's 2,000 more than this one.
I was gonna, which part of the building are you gonna put this on?
Right out here.
Because when I was coming up to the building, you see the township sign out there, it's standalone. I don't know if I'm gonna see it flat on the building. I don't know if we'd rather put it on the
Will be
side.
lit. I'll show you when we do the tour, but you have to make.
Well, it's either on the
decision
front of
how
the building or the sides,
I
but
had a picture in the last.
when you look at a sign, do you look at a wall sign or would you rather see a,
It'll be on the wall.
you know what I mean?
Well, you
On the
mean like a
side.
monument sign?
No, if you were coming up,
Versus like
say
having
you were
on
headed
front.
west and it was on the east side of the building, you'd see it. If it's on this side, I had to turn my blinders do not turn my head.
It will be on the north
Well,
side.
it's facing Seymour Lake Road.
Yep,
You see it from both sides.
yep.
Right, but I don't think I'd see it at all.
If you're facing straight ahead, you're not.
Yeah.
You're certainly not seeing the one that we have.
I mean, it's set back, it's not like downtown where the signs are right there in your face. It's set back, what are we, 50 feet from the road?
Oh, I'm not very good at that, probably.
We could be 40, 50 feet from the road, but
It's just a
I
thought.
think it would be visible. I'd rather have it there than on the east side facing east, because then if you're coming.
You're only
from the
gonna see it in
west
one
going-
direction,
You're only
right?
gonna see it in one direction. I don't know.
That's fine.
It just seems,
Just a thought.
And if it's lighted up too, I mean, that'll help
Yeah,
itself. Especially at night, like
Certainly they'd
it'll
see it at night.
stand out.
And it will be in between trees, and it's going to be at the peak of the building.
when would this be installed?
I haven't been able to speak to anybody about it yet, as to when they're gonna install it. First of all, I have to get permits from the township.
Wasn't he gonna do that?
He should do that.
Yeah.
The contractor usually does
With
that.
the other one, I was gonna have to do it.
Well, this says city sign permit not included.
City sign permit. Well,
But he'll help you with the application process, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
he already told me what I needed to do, but yeah. And I've gone over to the township. I mean, it's gonna be an easy process to walk through. I've already got the application.
I just want you to know that being on the ordinance review committee, we are reviewing the ordinance for the sign, so you
Well,
need
let's
to get
get it
this
up
in.
there
That
then.
is the worst ordinance to write.
I know, it is.
Well,
I mean, it seems pricey, but like it was the middle of the road bid anyway from back in February, so, I mean, this was back in February when they quoted it, so,
Right. And he said that's still the same quote. He didn't increase it.
yeah. So I guess I'd make a motion to approve the estimate from Wildfire Signs and Graphics at $47.70 for the outside sign.
I'll second that.
We have a motion, it's been supported, we need roll call.
Karen,
Yes?
John,
Yes.
Kathleen, Rin,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Mo, yes. What do you go by, Kat, Catherine,
Just
Kathy?
Catherine. No, not Kathy. We had this discussion earlier.
So I
It's
do
too many
wanna
syllables, I don't have
point
that kind of time.
out, in the previous motion, you also approved the $750 for electric, and that still stands. I spoke with him as well, the electrician, because he's got to hook it up. I spoke with him already.
Oh, that's a separate
He
quote,
has not increased
yeah.
his price either. But
Okay.
that's already been approved, but I just want you to be aware that that goes along with it.
So we're looking at 55.
Better be a nice sign. Hope you can see it, Mo.
Exactly.
I'll
I'll be looking.
Yeah, 55. Yep.
It's not
All right.
gonna drag it up for a mount to tree.
I'm gonna drive her by so she can look and see it.
Right.
Terry, items 10B and C, lumber quotes.
So where you're sitting, we would like to build a riser, and we've wanted to do this,
I'm sorry, just 10B. But go ahead,
the lumber.
yes.
And so we had it figured out as to how much lumber we need, because we want to elevate right here for camera's sake, for our chairs' sake. And we want to put a ramp on it so that we can either wheel this desk up or wheel this set up. We'll have 3 different sets now, right here on that riser.
Who's building this?
Joe Calhoun will build it.
Joe works for the TV station?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's the producer here.
Is it expensive? I mean, what, couldn't you just?
Lumber's
isn't this-
pricey.
But I mean, you have a budget, I think you're allowed to spend without our approval, so, like, up to so much, right, on the credit cards and stuff?
Yeah, 5,000, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember the amount, but I mean, how much are you looking to spend?
Do you have that? I don't have
Because I hope it's not $5,000.
No, she's got a quote of
Oh, I'm sorry.
$750
Yeah,
from
they're there,
Home
yeah.
Depot, $650 from Lowe's, and Menards is $111 at Menards?
that.
Save big money at
746.
Menards.
Oh, Home Depot 746, Lowe's is 648, and Menards is 549. It's at the bottom.
Yeah, it's the very
See that
bottom there.
quarter summary at the bottom?
The pre-tax subtotal.
What's that?
Oh, it's the one right below.
Yeah,
Very bottom.
Quick question. You wouldn't need pressure treat if it's inside, right?
Correct.
So, because
But-
here this was for, like I said, it's always better to
And
overquote.
that's what was available. When I was online looking, that's
Oh,
what
gotcha.
I
They
had.
didn't have, gotcha.
Yep. No, you have
Karen
that.
makes a point. You have a,
Okay,
you
yeah.
have some discretionary decision-making when it comes to spending below a certain amount of money. I don't think you need to have us approve this.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, the idea makes sense, so, to be able to move this easily,
Nope.
or not move it, but rise it up, I guess.
Make sure it's safe, because I'm gonna fall out of it.
Okay,
I will.
speaking of the budget, we have amendments to, you want to move money around?
Yes. Unless you want to go for it, Dave. Okay, so, when we obtained our tax ID number, that separated us from the township. Therefore, ADP began charging us for their services, and it's going to work out to be about $3,100 a year.
Were we paying that to the township?
We
was-
paid, go ahead.
Okay, it was included in the amount that ADP was charging the township.
So now we're having to pay an additional $3,100?
Yep, on top of what we're paying the township.
They couldn't separate it out.
Because they had to
We
create
were
a new
included in
account.
their account.
Separate payroll reports to the
Well,
feds.
this was counter to what I was told. We said it wouldn't cost us any money.
It was a pain, but we're separate from the township.
Yeah, we started, in looking at the expense revenue report, I started seeing this 296.815 start popping up. And I thought it was a mistake that needed to be corrected, and they finally confirmed that it was because ADP was charging us to process the payroll.
And it will be an estimated 3,100. We want to transfer 34 out of the wages because it's going to be a recurring cost. Unfortunately, I didn't figure that in the budget this year, so I was going to be tight. But I don't want to take it out of the general fund either because it's going to be a recurring cost. However, we don't really know how much it's going to be because they charge per employee's hours that are expended.
Employee hours?
I think it's head count.
Isn't-
Oh, yeah, same
It's
thing.
paperwork.
Yeah, it's paperwork.
But they
But
base it on hours?
So if we turn in all of our employees worked this week, they're going to charge us, it's almost like per employee. If all
Well,
of us didn't
that would
work
make
this
more
week-
sense per employee than per hour.
Per employee. Employee hours is what I was thinking, that in my mind, per employee. So we want to transfer 3,400 from our wages.
So you're gonna,
Hopefully it'll be okay.
you're gonna have extra funds available in the wages this year to move over?
We're not moving anything over to wages.
No, from wages, you're saying.
Yes, 3,400, well, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to do it right. And don't forget, we put an extra 50,000 in from the production manager's position that we didn't replace. So that gave us a little bit of slack.
Well, 50,000, that's a lot.
Are we gonna be hit with another unknown cost?
I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
don't know. It depends on what the township, or what happens with that tax ID number.
I was told this was not gonna cost us any additional funds.
Well, that was
I don't
silly.
think they knew that. I don't think the township knew that that was going to happen. They knew they were paying that amount, but I don't think they realized we were going to have to.
So in effect, they are now paying a little bit less. We're paying our share.
We're picking it up.
Maybe we should invoice Oxford then.
Unless
I'm
it's
just
done.
kidding.
Unless it's done.
Just trying to find a solution.
I guess we're a new account. I guess that's somewhat justified, but did Oxford bear some of the costs to handle the payroll for the station when they were included with Oxford?
That's the impression that I get. I asked if this was included in the administration costs that they charge us $4,000 a year for, and no, that's not it.
So Oxford was being nice and picking that up?
I don't,
probably
she
didn't
kept
know.
saying you just can't separate it out.
Because it's a new account.
I'm sure they were paying, because the township pays per employee, and
Yeah,
these
so-
employees would have been included. So now they get the bonus of $300 or $400 that they don't have to pay. We do.
Right.
So the $130 and odd cents that they're charging per pay period is based on our current head count.
Okay. So is that the only amendment you're looking for?
No. We also want to make an amendment and pull funds, 3,100, from the general fund, because this will not be a recurring situation. We had to pay Guardian Alarm for one thing. And then Metro Telecom is our IT guy. We had to pay him extra to help us get the playback system set up. And then, right on the heels of that, we had drive failures. And so he's been working on getting our drives back up for our network. Not the playback system, but our network system.
When you say drive failures, those drives, were they part of the new playback system you bought?
They're our network system, not the playback system.
What's the deal with the Guardian alarm bill? Like, what's
What
that?
happened with that, Dave?
Guardian alarm is just one of the constant costs. I think it's $67 a month that we pay for all the security that we have.
Did you just not put
But
in the
it
But
budget?
it's part of, it's not, it's just, these are just elements of what our current expenses are. Guardian alarm is part of it, that's all.
But weren't you paying Guardian when the budget was established?
Yes.
Right, but didn't we also have a repair on Guardian Alarm? That's what that increase was?
There was a little bit of that, yeah, they had a
So
failure or
it's
something. here.
basically for professional services, we have to increase that line item.
So so this,
Telecom is the lion's share of the necessary repairs that were done to the computer system.
so what's the 3,100 include? Where it says Guardian and Metro Telecom?
That's our professional services.
Break it down. How much is Guardian?
Do you have that?
I can get it.
And how much is Metro Telecom? And how much is IT superintendent?
That's the same thing.
And
I
it's,
just lumped them all together.
Yeah.
But Metro Telecom is the one that actually increased its expense. The
And
others-
how much is it?
Yeah, would you please?
Sure.
so we only budgeted
It's a good
originally
amount.
$4,000.
Exactly.
And so because these additional things came through, so, but that Metro Telecom must have been a pretty big,
It was.
Fee.
Well, yes, it was because we had to have him assist in setting up the playback system, which we knew was going to happen. But right on the heels of that was our drive failure. And it wasn't just one drive. It was one drive that went out and it failed, and he had to isolate which drive that was. So it's hour after hour of him trying to figure out which drive, because we have 4 or 5 that run our network system. And right after that one went down, another one went down. They're about 12 years old. And so it was the same thing. It was hour after hour of him isolating yet another drive that went down.
Instead of him rushing back there to get, I would rather table this until you guys come up with the proper numbers,
That's fine.
and then we can do it at the next meeting.
Yeah,
I mean, we have until the end of the year to adjust these numbers.
yep.
What is the third,
I don't know what he's got there. That's not, it's just, IT is the same as Metro Telecom.
no, on the, you've got 18,000.
That one's already, you guys already approved that a long time ago for the 3.
Why is it on here?
And Dave put it back in there because we would be adding that 3,000 to sit there for ADP, to sit in that account, that revenue appropriations fund.
The 3,000 from from the area we're just discussing
Yep,
is gonna go into this revenue, or this expense account.
yes.
From professional services to budget appropriation fund balance.
Can we,
From
can
ADP.
you just redo all this so,
Yeah, I can. I will.
I,
But that's actually for ADP. Because we need to put it somewhere, right?
what's actually for ADP?
That 3,000.
I would just prefer you just redo the whole budget amendments and bring it back to us.
do you have to show a line item taking the 3,000 out of the general fund? Or do we just, does that just,
That's what Curtis recommended we do. And so, and that's where we're putting it. Right into,
right, my question is where you're saying you're pulling the 3,000 from the general fund, but I don't see that in here.
Yeah, where are you reducing the general
You're
fund?
saying
Curtis
added it.
recommended that we show it by this revenue appropriations.
Then it should be a reduced amount, not an added amount.
It's both.
It's both.
We're reducing it from the general fund. So if I had my way, I would have that $206,000 on
I told you,
budget.
put it there.
We've been recommended not to.
Well, you're the station manager,
All
you
right,
know?
I'll do it.
I mean,
Because it would be a lot easier to understand that.
Right.
You can see that it's being taken out of that, except part of the problem is that 206 changes daily. Because all of our checks are written out of there, everything's written out of that one particular account. Joe Ferrari writes the checks, so it's very
I see.
confusing. So it would never be a consistent correct figure
I
on
understand.
here. Which is why Curtis recommended we just create this line item and have things ebb and flow in there. But yes, I would much prefer to have,
So why don't you just redo that whole report and bring it back to us in a way
I can
that...
do that.
All right.
or I'll do it, rather than him do it, I'll do it.
Why wouldn't you just add the 3,000 to the 3-year equipment plan? Instead of to the professional services?
We could.
Okay, it wouldn't matter what account, as long as it gets covered in the budget, got it.
Yep. Just as long as I can get it out of the general fund.
Got it.
206,000.
Do you have a problem with tabling this, the budget amendments?
I
and
don't
then-
have a problem with
All right, then we can table that. Item 11, manager's report.
And yes, you should have had those, a copy of those bills. Sorry. I didn't realize they were in the packet. My problem, my fault.
Let's take that 6% down to
Yeah, no
5.
kidding.
Gotta be quicker than that right here, girlfriend.
Yeah, darn it.
Manager's report.
So the manager's report you have, and just want to add to it. So I did present at the MTA conference, and it went really well, and I would definitely go back.
Did you record it?
No, they didn't record it.
You couldn't bring your own people? to-
Just
How do
told
we know if you didn't have any?
Pardon me?
How do we know if you didn't have any ums?
You could ask CJ, he was there, he'd tell you. And I just told you about the failures that we had on that drive, and that's why the IT guy was so much in hurry. Then the backup batteries that he did order didn't come in, so we're still waiting for that. And that's just in case we go, so there's backup batteries for the playback system. So if we go down, if we community for more than 6 hours, we go down because we don't have a full battery backup system yet, and that's parts waiting out in the ocean somewhere.
So why would you need the backup system if you get a generator?
We wouldn't need the battery backup if we got a generator, but the generator's in the same place the batteries are, out in the ocean somewhere.
Further out in the ocean.
Yeah, right. They're 6 months out, whereas the batteries, anytime. I keep hearing from the IT guy today. And we had and that was another expense also. We had the antivirus updated for our entire system. So hopefully we're not going to get any Russian robots or anything.
Oh, computer
Antivirus.
virus.
Yeah.
Dang, I keep
Did you
thinking
get it
COVID.
boosted?
I keep thinking every day virus, I just think COVID.
Shots.
Yeah, monkeypox now.
I told you that we're gonna, next month, June 3rd or 4th, we're hosting 3 Clear Lake second grade classes, 25 students each, and they're coming in here to learn about public access television, how we can affect the community, and how we help the community. So it's gonna be an interesting little trial. We've not done that, and I think it's really cool because then those 25 kids and 25 are going to go home and tell their parents that we're here, like Catherine was saying. So there's 75 more people that will know we're here and what we're doing for the community. We met the insurance guy last week, and of course, like everything else, he informed us that our premium will increase as of July by $700 at least. So.
Annually?
Yeah. And then next month, when the trolley is fixed, Madonna Van Fossen, who used to be a DDA director here, is the SMART person that connected the trolley with Oxford. She works for SMART. And
Madonna works for Smart?
yes, she has. I think she said 8 years. She's the one that connected the trolley here. And so she said she would be really happy if she could come out and do a story about the trolley history, etc. So I think we're going to be able to ride on the trolley and hear the history of how it got out here, etc. Because we haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. So.
Well, this is something that you're going to put on the station, okay?
Yep, a documentary of the trolley. And so that's next month. So that's it.
You doing something for Ron?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So we are, I kind of wasn't sure if I should say anything about it right now because we're on camera. Yeah, Ron's having a party, at the beginning of the month. And if anybody wants to come in and do a little video to tell them how much they're going to miss him and how much he did for the community, come on in and we'll be happy to record it.
Okay. That it?
Just to add,
We already talked, she's gonna redo it all.
okay.
Item 12, committee reports, technical committee. Well, we're here at the station, so we're just gonna take a tour. That's as far as it goes. Personnel committee, anything more to add?
Nope.
We are done. Get me out
Until
this committee,
January.
right? And we're gonna pick a restaurant out by Addison, maybe Louis
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, maybe Louis.
Commissioner comments, John?
No comments.
No comment. Catherine?
I'm good for now.
Maureen?
I'm all good.
Karen?
I got nothing.
You got nothing? No, I only comment, I hope this tour works out pretty well and it beneficial to all. Other than that, no public. Kyle, you got anything else to add? All right. Make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
It's been supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.